In this video, I'm going to show you 4 different problems on how to solve a decimal word problem using a 2-step linear inequality. And basically, hopefully, each problem is going to showcase how you set these things up. So for this first one, for his phone service, Lamar pays a monthly fee of $16 and he pays an additional 7 cents per minute of use. The least he has been charged in a month is $105.25. What are the possible numbers of minutes he has used his phone in a month? So one thing you need to know is that the least translates to the symbol greater than or equal to. So it's like saying at least. So he's paying a monthly fee of $16, additional 7 cents per minute. And notice that they said use M for a number of minutes. So 7 cents per minute is the rate. So that'd be 7 cents M. We're multiplying these together. The least the charge is $105.25. So that's the setup. This is what they were charged, and it says that the least was $105.25. Now we just go through the basics of solving an inequality. Subtract 16 to both sides. Then we get 7 cents M greater than or equal to. Now let me use my calculator here. We get 105.25 minus $16, and we get $89.25. Next step, divide both sides by 7 cents, and we get M greater than or equal to. That divided by 0.07 would be 1,275, and that's my final answer. So this is saying that the number of minutes that they used on the phone was at least 1,275. That's how many minutes they spoke for, that or more. Let's look at the next problem. Here it says to rent a meeting room. A college shares a reservation fee of $31 and an additional fee of $6.60 per hour. The history club wants to spend at most $83.80 on a renting room. They want to know what's the possible amounts of time for which they could rent the meeting room. Use T for the number of hours in the meeting room is rented and solve for T. So we're getting charged $31, additional fee of $6.60 per hour, and they want to spend at most $83.80. At most, the symbol for at most is, I'll write it over here on the side, less than or equal to. So we're getting charged $31, an additional $6.60 per hour. Use T for the hours. $6.60 per hour, that's our rate. And they want to spend at most, so less than or equal to $83.80. That's the setup for this inequality. And now we're going to do as they said, solve for T. I'm going to subtract 31 to both sides. Put it in dollar format over here. And when we subtract it, we get 660T less than or equal to. This one I can subtract without my calculator, and we get 5280. Next step, divide both sides by 6.60. 6.60, and we're going to get T is less than or equal to. And let me calculate this. We get 52.80 divided by 6.60, and we get 8 as the final answer. So to answer the question, the possible amounts of time they can rent the meeting room for is 8. So at most 8 hours. So you can just rent it for any number of hours. 8 is the maximum, and anything less than that is okay. Because remember, in this case, they want to spend at most that much money. Okay, let's look at the next problem. I'm not going to solve this one because it's similar to the other one we went over, but I just want you to see the setup. Here it says that they're spending, to rent a certain meeting room, a college charges a reservation fee of $44, so they're charging $44, an additional fee of $8.70 an hour, and they want to spend less than $122.30. And they want you to use T for number of hours the meeting room is rented. So to set it up, it's going to be 44, an additional fee of $8.70 per hour. Use T for hours, so $8.70 per hour, that's my rate. And you want to spend less than, that's the less than symbol, $122.30. And then you'd go about the same method to solve the inequality. Let's look at the last word problem now. In this one here, it says Tom is going to rent a truck for 1 day. There are 2 companies he can choose from, and they have the following prices. Company A is charging $104, and they have unlimited mileage. Company B has an initial fee of $65, and they're charging you an additional 60 cents for every mile driven. And in this case, when you have like a setup for 2 different things, look at the question they're asking you. That's the key for the setup. For what mileages will Company A charge less than Company B? So this is telling me how to set it up. So basically, we want to know, when is Company A going to charge less than Company B? So to write that down, when is Company A going to charge less than, that's the less than symbol, Company B? And now we're going to go back to the information they gave us. Okay, what does Company A charge? They charge $104 and unlimited mileage, which means you're only going to pay $104. So I substitute that for Company A, bring down my less than sign, and I look at Company B. What does Company B charge? They have an initial fee, which means their starting amount is $65, and they also charge an additional 60 cents for every mile driven. So 60 cents for every mile driven, and remember, here it says M is the miles driven, so my rate is 60 cents M. And now we just solve it like we normally would. So I'm going to solve this for you, because if you notice in this case, the variable is on the right side. So I'm going to show you. We're going to subtract 65 to both sides here. We're going to get 60 cents M. Bring down my less than sign, and I'm going to do 104 minus 65. And we get 39. Next, we're going to divide both sides by 60 cents. So 0.60 to both sides. Bring down my inequality sign. And I'm going to get M. And 39 divided by 60 cents is 65. So you could stop here, but to make it easier, we could translate this into using, we're basically going to just swap everything around. So we have the variable on the left side. So I'm going to switch the M into 65, and I'm also going to switch the sign to point the other way. So these two inequalities are the exact same thing. It's easier to interpret the meaning of your answer here. Because the question was, for what mileages will Company A charge less than Company B? Well, if you drive any number of miles greater than 65, right? So if you drive more than 65 miles, Company A will charge less than Company B. And that's the final answer.